All right, peace. So, told y'all what I was working on, a presentation to get you A to Z, from Googling and getting your birth chart on your own to ultimately, I want to get you where you can look at the chart, see where the moon, the sun is, and predict your day. You understand? This volume one, I probably, as of right now, I see myself doing at least three, maybe four. But this is the preliminary one. Give you the very basics where you can start. After you watch this hour and almost hour and a half video, hour and 20 minutes. You watch this video, you'll be able to study yourself. It's things I've said in my videos, and I say a little bit in this video, a little bit in that video, and this right here is gonna be one lesson. I give you a lot of metaphysical understandings, so you understand what astrology really is, and then I give you the ways in which you can go study yourself. And as you can see, it's a number of slides. Ultimately, I take you here where I got Kanye West's birth chart. Famous rapper Kanye West. Most people know him, so we can use him as an example. And I show you how to study him and how his chart shows exactly what he's doing and where he at. You understand what I'm saying? And you can do this for yourself. So we go through some things. So I'm gonna have to put a price on it, as I said, because I want to be able to do this all the time. I don't want to have to, yeah, jump in the system, in the workforce system. So I'm asking for $13, and you get the hour and 20-minute video, and you can have the if you want the actual presentation, you just email me, and I can email you that too. Maybe I don't know. I had to figure that point out. I really, honestly, hadn't really putting thought into all that. I just wanted to get the video out there because I told y'all that's what I'm gonna do. So I put a lot of thought in this, a lot of research into it. I got stuff you can go research right after you watch, as you're watching it, after you watch it, but more importantly, the last 10 or 15 slides is all about you and how do you understand yourself. That's what it's all about. So here it is. Check it out. How to Know Thyself, Volume One. A Guide for Understanding Your Birth Chart. All right, man and religion. Okay, know thyself. This is the old adage. The Egyptians, Kemites, Temerians of the Egyptians, Kemites, Temerians. Apologize. This was what the Oracle told Neo in the highly metaphysical movie, The Matrix. The religion of ancient man was animism. Animism is the belief that everything in physical reality was animated with the spirit of God. The etymology of religion means to bind, meaning to bind one back with God. This is how most, if not all, ancient cultures approach life. God is infinite and within all. Therefore, everything is an expression or manifestation of God. And since the mind of man is the most superior thing in existence, it must be God in the physical world. Thus, when in Psalms 82, chapter 82, verse 6 says, "Ye are gods," this means you are the superior being in this physical world. Therefore, have the most responsibility to know thyself. You see here, prior to Europe's involvement with Egypt, the people of ancient Egypt had many names for their country, such as Tamari, all right, the beloved land, Taseti, the land of the bow, which was used in the southern part regions in the country of Nubia, and another name was Kemet, the black land. That's why I put that in there like that. As you see, animism, okay, is the breath, the spirit, is the religious belief that objects, places, creatures all possess a distinct spiritual essence. Potentially, animism perceives all things, animals, plants, rocks, rivers, weather systems, human handiwork, and perhaps even words, as animated and alive. Animism is the oldest known type of belief system in the world, even predates paganism. Still practiced in various societies. Okay, it's a term belief system of many indigenous tribal peoples, especially in contrast to the relatively more recently development of organized religion. So this is very ancient, very old. Although each culture has its own different mythologies and rituals, animism is said to describe the most common functional. Okay, and as you can see, religion, etymologically, right, means to tie back. Okay, the bond between human beings, and gods. So true religion back in the day was animism. People knew what they were. They knew they were expressions of the Most High God. Now I'm gonna use God throughout this, but you can replace it with whatever makes you feel comfortable. It's just words. God is an energy, if you will. So go to the next one. The mind is God in this world. Okay, the mind is unseen cause to everything in reality. Just think. Anybody who invents anything had to have the idea first. Simply put, matter comes from thought. Even in quantum physics, the quanta themselves, which are the subparticles that make up the atom, protons, neutrons, electrons, only manifest as particles when being observed. All right? This means that physical reality only exists because of man. So let's go over here and look at this real quick. This is from the Holographic Universe book by Michael Talbert, page 34. Perhaps the most astonishing of all is that there is a compelling evidence that the only time quanta ever manifest as particles is when we are looking at them. For instance, when an electron isn't being looked at, experimental findings suggest that it is always a wave. A wave, okay? This is where string theory comes from, okay? A string of waves, okay? Physicists are able to draw this conclusion because they have devised clever strategies for deducing how electrons behave when it is not being observed. It should be noted that this is only one interpretation of the evidence, and not the conclusion of all physicists. As we will see, Bohm himself has a different interpretation. But basically, they found out that when they're observing the electron, the proton, the neutron, is when it's a particle. But if they aren't looking at it, which I assume they put up a camera, I guess, and like he says, physicists haven't been able to draw this conclusion because they have devised clever strategies for deducing how electron. So I would assume they record it and no one's in the room looking at it. And it's a wave. See, once again, this seems more like magic than the kind of behavior we are accustomed to expect from the natural world. Imagine owning a bowling ball that was only a bowling ball when you looked at it. If you sprinkle talcum powder on the bowling lane and roll the quantum bowling ball towards the pins, it would trace a single line. And after this, it says it would trace a single line. And then when you're not looking at it, the line will be gone. When you look back at it again, the line will be there. You see? So it's like it only exists because you put your attention and your focus on it, right? So listen. Thus, in the King James Version Bible, John chapter 1, verse 3 and 4, it says, all things were made by him, and without him not anything was made. That's what that's talking about in the Bible right there. Okay. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. Okay. The Bible is a highly metaphysical book. That light that is spoken of in that verse is your divine mind or soul. The next verse it says, and the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. The darkness is your humanity. Talking about higher self and lower self. Okay. Go to the next one. Sun sign astrology. Okay. Light is energy. Energy is electromagnetism. The light you see is electricity, but you can't with your naked eye see the force of magnetism, i.e. the dark. The polarity of light is darkness. The polarity of electricity is magnetism. And according to the Bible, Jesus is the light, and the polarity of Jesus is Satan. So in the book of Matthew, chapter 16, Jesus is telling his disciples all the trouble he's about to face as he goes and preaches. Okay. And Peter in verse 22 says, then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee. Verse 23, Jesus says to Peter, get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me, for thou savorest not the things that be of God, but those of men. Why would he call Peter Satan? It makes no sense, right? But it does. Listen, understand these are the two mind states within man. The electric mind, Jesus, is the higher self. The magnetic mind, Satan, is the lower self. Peter was concerned with the physical pain, while Jesus knows his mission and knows the hard times that come along with greatness. Astrologically, these two mind states correspond to the sun and the moon. Astrology is the study of the electromagnetic energies of Earth, the planets, the stars, and how they impact the mind. Okay, so see, Jesus was telling the people, like telling his disciples, look, we finna have to go down here. These people, they gonna crucify me, they gonna kill me because they ain't gonna want to hear the truth. And Peter like, nah, man, you ain't gotta do that. You don't want to do that. You know why you want to do that? And Jesus like, man, get behind me, Satan. You know you scared. You see, Peter was concerned with the physical pain and the tribulations and things, but Jesus knows you got to do what you got to do in this life. It's gonna be pain, but to get to where you're trying to go through, you know what I'm saying? You got to go through that. So he called him Satan, that mind state of being concerned with every little thing that's going to happen and what could go wrong and all that. That's the Satan mind state. That's why he told him, get thee behind me, Satan. Now, from this book right here, Future Science by Maurice Cortell, good book, great book. Okay, it shows how astrology works. It's talking about the sun, how it gives off the electromagnetic energies. The sun radiates charged particles, right? Earth's magnetic field, charged solar wind particles enter Van Allen belts and spiral, very important, between poles. The terrestrial magnetic fields varies at ground level. The varying magnetic fields affect the manufacture of DNA at conception, resulting in 4 types of genetic mutations at early impregnation, over 3 times within a year. All right, did they get science? Did they get sciencey on you there? All right, let's zoom in a little bit so we can see this. The dispersion of the 12 types of genetic mutations caused by the 12 types of solar radiation each year correlate with the 12 astrological signs of the zodiac. And graph shows that the results of 2 studies carried out by Jeff Mayo under the aegis of Professor Han Insick at the London Institute of Psychiatry, the positive signs are extroverted, the negative signs are introverted, suggesting the sun is responsible for the determination of personality. Sun sign astrology through genetic mutations at the time of conception. So you see the science. The electromagnetic energies affect the egg of the woman. You know, we are all connected. As above, so below, as within, so without. So that affects the child, and that's how you have the 12 type of personalities that manifest every year. Okay. So Jesus and his 12 disciples. Jesus and his 12 disciples, the 12 disciples esoterically represent the sun and the 12 signs of the zodiac. Therefore, Jesus is the 13th. More on that later. The story of Jesus dying and resurrecting is a mythology about the cycle of the sun through the zodiac. On December 22nd of every year, the sun hits the sign of Capricorn. This is the day called the winter solstice, which is an astronomical phenomenon marking the day with the shortest period of daylight and the longest night of the year. In ancient times, it was said the sun dies for 3 days until December 23rd, until December 25th. This is the origins of what we call Christmas, as well as Easter. Easter is celebrated on the Sunday closest to the first full moon of the new astrological year, which starts when the sun hits Aries on March 20th. As you can see, it says 320 up here. Okay, the spring equinox 320. You can see how the 12 disciples represent signs. Now, if you look at Sagittarius, see how Sagittarius is a little higher than everybody else, right? It's the one that's the highest because it's the one that gives off the most energy. I want you to look at something real quick. Look at this chart right here. Hold up. Oh, went too far. Hold on. This chart right here. See these arrows up and down. See this fire over here on the side. Right here. That's Sagittarius. See, it's Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. And then it starts back over. Okay, and that's what this chart is showing. These are the measurements that they took as they did whatever little experiment they did, right? And you see it's the same thing here. Okay, it goes up and down. Aries, Taurus, back up Gemini, down Cancer, up Leo, Virgo. You see how Sagittarius is a little bit higher than the rest of them. The only one that's closest to it is Aries, right? Just like it was on that chart. So you see when Michelangelo was it Michelangelo who did this, or Da Vinci? I think it was Da Vinci who made this. This is what he was talking about. See how Libra, right? It's this guy. See how he got his hands spread like that, representing balancing of the scales. Virgo is the only female. That's supposed to be Mary Magdalene. All right. So you see science in these pictures. That's why I put that on there. All right. So this is the origin of what we today call Christmas as well as Easter. Easter is celebrated on the Sunday closest to the first full moon of the new astrological year. This is why Easter changes every year, because the first full moon may come early in the astrological year, or a little bit, early in the month or a little bit later. The new astrological year, which starts when the sun hits Aries on March 20th, the spring equinox. Thus, in the Western society, we have Good Friday. Think about Friday the 13th. Jason, Friday the 13th, the movie. The word Jason is Jesus in Greek. When Jesus supposedly died for 3 days and is reborn, which should be Monday, but in this ass backwards society is celebrated on Sunday because Sunday is the day of the sun. This is simply allegory for the beginning of spring, when the crops will start growing again because we are out of winter. Thus, our Savior returns. Denotatively, the word holy means sun, and Bible simply means paper. So the Holy Bible is a book about the cycle of the sun. All right? So you understand that about that Bible. It's a good book. I know it got this negative stuff in it, but it got a lot of positive too. Got a lot of science. All right. So what is your astrology sign? All right, this one gonna go a little deep here, so get ready. Get your pen and paper, because y'all gonna have to look some stuff up. Astrology has been misrepresented in the Western world newspapers and magazines.